All right, aspirants, welcome. Look, if you're gearing up for your exams, you already know that AI in finance is a massive topic. So in this explainer, we're going to break down a really important address from the RBI. We'll give you all the key insights you're going to need.
Let's kick things off with a quote that just perfectly sets the stage. Now, Stephen Hawking wasn't talking about finance specifically, but his words, wow, they really remind us what's at stake here. AI is this incredibly powerful tool, right? And its path, for better or for worse, is being paved right now, as we speak.
And this is where it gets super interesting for us. Because in finance, the margin for error, it's basically zero. We're not just talking about some glitchy app on your phone. No, we are talking about the very foundation of our economy. See, financial institutions, they run on one thing: trust. And one bad call from an algorithm, just one little moment of instability, and poof, that trust can disappear in an instant.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll look at how AI is a total double-edged sword. Then we're going to weigh the good against the bad, the benefits versus the risks. After that, we'll dive deep into the RBI's guiding principles, their sutras, and what they're actually doing. And then we'll wrap it all up with a sharp, concise briefing, perfect for your exam prep. All right, let's jump right into our first section. We're going to see how AI has gone from, this abstract idea in a university to being the actual engine driving the financial world. And it happened fast. And this, right here, this is the core of it. We've seen a massive shift. AI isn't just some helpful tool humming away in the background anymore. Nope, it's now a foundational driver. I mean, just think about that for a second. It's shaping the big decisions, everything from who gets a loan to how we spot fraud. It's literally rewriting the DNA of finance.
Okay, so if AI is the driver, the big question is, where is it taking us? And that brings us right to the heart of the debate, the incredible promise versus the very real peril. Let's take a look at both sides of that coin.
And this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one hand, the potential is just huge. Think about it. AI could help a farmer in a tiny village get a loan using their mobile data, something a traditional bank would never be able to do. That's financial inclusion. But here's the other side. What if that exact same algorithm was trained on biased old data? It could end up discriminating against entire regions, locking people out. And then there's the black box problem. What happens when the AI makes a decision and nobody can explain why? This is the central tension we have to deal with.
Now, this black box problem, it has an official name, and you've got to know this one for your exams: algorithmic opacity. And it's a huge deal. Why? Because regulations say you need explanations. If a bank rejects your loan application, they have to give you a reason. But what if a super complex AI made the call? The bank itself might not even know why. That is a major roadblock for accountability.
Okay, to help you lock these risks in your memory, especially under exam pressure, we've got a great mnemonic for you: BOSS. Just think, if we're not careful, AI can become the boss in all the wrong ways. So B is for bias in the data. O is for opacity, our black box problem. S is for systemic risk. That's where a bunch of AIs all do the same thing and could potentially crush the market. And the final S is for social displacement, the real-world impact on jobs. So you're faced with the BOS. What's the plan? How does the RBI tackle these risks without killing innovation? Well, that's where their guiding principles, or sutras, come in. Let's check them out.
And here they are, the RBI's strategic answer, straight from the Free AI Committee. Now, pay close attention to the order here. What's at the very top? Number 1, trust. That is not a coincidence, folks. Trust is the absolute bedrock. Every single other principle, making sure humans are accountable, making AI understandable, all of it, is built to support that one single foundation: trust.
This brings us to another key term you'll want to have in your back pocket: regtech. This is really cool because it's where AI stops being the potential problem and actually becomes part of the solution. It's all about using AI's incredible power for spotting patterns to help banks automatically catch fraud or make their regulatory reporting way more efficient. Basically, it's using tech to make the whole system safer. Okay, principles on paper are one thing, but what is the RBI actually doing? How are they turning these ideas into real-world actions and safeguards? Let's see how they're moving from theory to practice.
If there is one single phrase you take away to understand the RBI's whole philosophy, it's this one: innovation within safeguards. It's not about putting the brakes on progress, not at all.
It's about building a solid, secure foundation first and then innovating on top of it. They want prudence and progress to walk hand in hand. And this isn't just talk. Here is a perfect real-world example. MuleHunter.ai. This tool, which came out of the RBI's own innovation hub, actually uses AI to hunt for fraudulent mule accounts. You know, the ones criminals use to launder money? It's a classic case of fighting fire with fire, using AI to make the system stronger and safer. And just look at this. This isn't some small test run. We're not talking about a tiny pilot program. MuleHunter.ai is already up and running in about 20 commercial banks. This just goes to show you that the RBI is serious about moving from principles to actual, on-the-ground deployment.
All right, here's another critical concept for your notes: ring fencing. Picture the most important parts of our financial system, like the big payment systems and the major banks. Ring fencing is basically building a protective wall, a digital fortress around them. This makes sure that any new, experimental AI stuff can't accidentally bring down the whole system. Think of it like a safety zone for risky experiments.
So the key takeaway here is that this isn't about cleaning up a mess after something goes wrong. The entire philosophy is built on safety by design. What does that mean? It means from the very first line of code, from the moment an AI system is just an idea, those safeguards and ethical rules have to be baked right in. They can't be an afterthought you just patch on later.
Okay, let's pull all these threads together. For this final section, we're going to look at the way forward, and most importantly, we'll boil it all down to the absolute key takeaways you'll need for your exams.
This timeline, this is your perfect framework for any question about implementation. It's a really clear step-by-step approach. You start short-term, build awareness, get the skills up. Then, in the medium term, you actually implement those free AI principles. And the long-term vision? Well, it's ambitious. It's about making India a trusted global leader in responsible financial AI.
And here we go. This is a brilliant way to remember the whole philosophy in one simple framework. If the risks are the BOS, then the solution is the 5 T's. This is the perfect way to structure the end of an exam answer. You've got trust, transparency, training our own talent, using technology for good, and that last one, togetherness, making sure everyone, from regulators to industry, is working together.
So, let's do a final rapid-fire recap for your revision. 1. Remember the two sides of AI, the massive benefits and the serious risks. 2. Know the RBI's core philosophy, innovation within safeguards with trust at its heart. 3. Have that key jargon ready, algorithmic opacity, regtech, ring fencing. 4. Remember the real-world action, like MuleHunter.ai in nearly 20 banks. And finally, number 5. Use the 5 T's as your go-to framework for structuring a great answer. Nail these points and you are going to be in excellent shape.
And we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. As AI starts to build the very architecture of our financial future, the biggest question isn't just about the technology. It's about us. It's about how we consciously bake our human values, fairness, transparency, trust, into the code itself. The blueprint is in our hands, and it's up to us to get it right.